Hey, y'all, and welcome to the fifth episode of Talking Pagosa Springs with John McSwain. Today, I want to address a question that I get just about on a weekly basis, and that's when is the best time to move to Pagosa? And the best answer that I can give you is it really depends. It depends what matters most to you. Are you focused on saving money? Are you thinking about the weather? Or are you just trying to make the move as smooth as possible? There's really no perfect time across the board, but there are better times depending on your individual situation. So let's start with the financial side of it. If you're trying to get the best deal possible, winter is usually where that happens. There are fewer buyers in the market. Homes tend to sit a little longer, and sellers are often more open to negotiations. You might see price reductions, and overall, you've just got a little bit more leverage. But there is a trade off. There's also fewer homes available, so yeah, you may get a better deal, but you might not have as many options to choose from. Okay, now let's talk about weather because this one is a big one in Pagosa. Winter out here is no joke. I say that usually. Last winter was very mild, but you've got snow and ice and colder temperatures, which can make moving a lot harder than people expect. Loading a truck, driving a trailer, or just even walking up and into a property, it can get pretty sketchy pretty quick. On top of that, when a property is covered in snow, you're not really seeing the full picture. You can't always tell how the land lays, what the drainage looks like, what the yard looks like. So, in a lot of ways, you're buying with limited visibility. Then you roll into spring, and spring brings mud. And if you're dealing with dirt roads or slope driveways, it can turn into a mess pretty quick. Homes don't always show their best either in the spring. Everything's kind of in that in between stage, but this actually can be an opportunity. Some properties look rough in the spring, which means less competition and sometimes better deals. This is an area where the winter properties are still hanging on. So, yeah, you can still get a pretty good deal at the beginning of spring with the winter hangover or what's still on the market that has been on the market for several days. Now, summer is where everything starts to open up. It's the easiest time to move, hands down. Roads are dry, you can walk the entire property, and you can really see what you're getting into. This is also when Pagosa is at its busiest. Tourists are here, buyers are here, and the demand goes up. So prices can rise a bit with that demand, and you might run into more competition, more multiple offer situations. And also, a quick heads up, things like movers, rentals, even short term stays can get booked out faster during the summer. And then there's fall, which a lot of people overlook. Fall might actually be the best one as far as best times to move overall. The weather's still good, the roads are in solid shape, and things are starting to slow down. People are going back to work and school, so there's fewer tourists, which means that there's a little less competition. And sometimes sellers who are still on the market, they're a bit more motivated knowing that winter's right around the corner. So if you're looking for a balance between price and convenience, fall is a pretty strong option. Now, there's something people don't always think about, and that's the lifestyle. Your timing might have nothing to do with the market. If you've got kids, you're probably looking at summer so that you don't interrupt the school year. If you are working remote, you've got a little bit more flexibility. And if you're relocating for work, that timing might already be decided for you. Also, getting in and out of Pagosa in the winter can be a factor depending on the weather, especially if you're coming over Wolf Creek Pass. Now, one more thing, and it's a pretty big one, what you're buying matters. If you're buying a home in town, you've got a lot more flexibility year round. But if you're looking at land and acreage or anything out rural, timing means a lot more when it comes to that. Things like septic, well, drainage, access roads, those are a lot harder to evaluate when everything is covered with snow. So if you're going that route, I'd be cautious about buying in the dead of winter. And so that brings us to what is the best time. If you're trying to save money, probably winter. If you want the easiest move, summer. If you want a little bit of both, fall is probably going to be your sweet spot. And I guess we're down to final thoughts. Trying to perfectly time the market, that's tough. But if you're trying to figure out what works best for you, your timeline, your budget, and your lifestyle, that's what really matters. because at the end of the day, the best time to move to Pagosa is when it makes sense for your life. And I guess we're going to wrap it up with a bonus section. A couple things that people don't always think about. Book movers early if you're coming in the summer. Short term rentals do fill up fast during peak season. If you're building, timelines can shift depending on the weather. Late summer can also bring a little bit of those fire concerns during the fire season, and some roads and HOAs handle winter maintenance differently. So that is definitely worth asking about. So that's it. Remember that Talking Pagosa is a series where you get to ask questions, and I will do my best to answer them. So let me know if there's anything that I can help you with or any questions that I can answer. And until then, may you have the best day, may you have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video.